What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm gonna be day trading. So if you don't know what day trading is, it's like a thing where you day trade and you sell and buy. And I can show you what day trade looks like. Hold on. A day trade looks like this.
This exact setup gets printed
A day
every
trade
single
looks
day,
like
and
this.
if you get good at spotting every morning at exactly.
And if the thing goes green, that means it goes high. But if the thing goes hold on. But if the things go low, that means you have to sell. But if you buy when it's selling time, you lose money. But if you sell when it's selling time, if you buy when it's selling time, that's what I meant. Bro, but I'm not gonna lie, bro, you're cooked. Just cooked. You might lose a lot of money. You might not lose a lot of money. So yeah, guys. Get out my video. So, and Mom, stop making noises, please. So, okay, so we're gonna ask me something sus. Well, anyways, yes, get in the video. So, what I'm gonna be doing, watching some day trading stuff, and y'all can see it too. I know y'all can't see it right now, but when I find something, then y'all can see it. But then after that, I'm gonna exit out of the day trading stuff. But what I'm gonna watch is gonna be buy it. Well, I guess I have to do it.
Look at the high and then go over.
24. Okay, I guess do like this much
Chart open.
because
Right now,
I don't have to
about
watch that
anything other
much.
than how
And
it was
it's like
about.
27 minutes long.
Which in this case is
But
this blue
I'm
line.
gonna do
We're
it
looking at
anyways.
increases
And I don't have to
decreases.
watch
so
that
all
much.
the chart is showing us
So,
is
yeah.
a visual representation of mass human
dang, I
psychology,
forgot.
meaning that there are buyers and there are sellers. Now, this is done with algorithms. This is done by physical trading. This is done in all sorts of different ways. So it's not as simple as people just clicking buy and sell, right? But the general premise is the market
It's only.
Oh,
dang. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Works is like this. Let's take right here for example.
Okay, yeah, that will
This
work.
part of the chart, when price is moving up, that means that there is demand from buyers and supply from sellers.
Oh,
If
dang,
the
y'all can't
demand
see
outweighs the
it.
supply, the market is
Wait,
going to
hold on,
move
I
up
forgot
until
to
there's
turn
another
it
point
this
where
way.
supply starts to
Hold on,
outweigh
guys.
demand, and the market
Oh,
will
wait,
correct
y'all
until once
see
again
it.
there's more demand than supply, and that will sort of bounce back and forth, which is going to produce something called volatility. Now, volatility is basically any time there are drastic big moves in the market. These are going to open up trading
gonna put
opportunities
it
for us
down
later. So
like-
simply
like
put,
it.
as traders, our job is to
No,
find
y'all can't
areas of the
see my
market
face,
where we can
but
enter
yeah.
at a certain price, have the price
Y'all
increase
can see
to
my
another
face.
price, then however many
Y'all
of
can see it
these
in
we
a
bought
video,
times
but
the
I'm not gonna
increase
show
is
it
going to
in
give us
this
our
part
profit. So if we bought
because-
100 of these units at $200 and it
And
increases to 205, that's $5 in profit
might
per
not
100,
remember
which is going to
my
give us
videos.
$500 in profit. But let's take another layer deeper to start understanding where these intraday opportunities
Guys,
come
please
from. So let's take
forget
a
my
1-year
face
starting point as an
because
example.
I
Over
am
the
a
course
kid.
of a year, this is the general stock
And
market.
this
We can
too
see
is
anywhere from
out.
10, 15, 20, even 30% gains in an individual year. That means that if we were to buy $100 worth of SPX at this point and price increases, we now have $130, and technically our total risk implication is if everything were to melt down and technically go to zero, we're technically risking $100. This is the concept of investing. Now, you're only going to get say 10, 20, 30% in a good year, but usually right around 10%. So effectively, we'd have to wait an entire year to get between 10 and 30%, which is good if you're dealing with a lot of money. But if you're trying to scale a small amount and make an income off of it, you need to have a tremendous amount of capital. Otherwise, you have to find other opportunities in the market.
sorry,
Now, what
guys,
happens
that
if
was
we
great.
zoom into just this one small area, where now instead of looking at an entire year's worth of movement, we're now looking at individual days worth of movement. So we'll take today, for example. Now, even in a single day, we had this amount of movement to the upside and this amount of movement on the downside. So instead of waiting an entire year, if we were able to enter here and sell somewhere up here and now still risking $100, just with this single move, we would make $341. This would happen in the matter of 1 hour. We can have multiple of these opportunities in a single day, which allows us to go from making, say, $30 in a year to be able to take that same amount of risk, be able to make $600, $700, $800 in a single day, risking $100. Okay, but as the numbers get smaller, we're dealing on a zoomed in 1 day view. The math and the strategy behind this starts to get a lot more complicated, and it gets more important to know how to do this to properly calculate your risk. Not only that, but we need to know where we're buying and selling and the likelihood of that happening. So just as an example, if you're new, you're especially not going to understand exactly how this works. But this is a trade that took about 2 hours, where I was basically able to pick an area where I expected for the price to significantly drop, enter in, actually be able to make profit from the market going down, which even a lot of people don't understand that you can do, especially good when markets are moving down to know how to do this skill. And you can see I followed this down for hours, going up $2,400, $2,600, $3,000, nearly $4,000 before taking the trade off for full profit. And I was only risking $500 that I was able to make over $3,000 in about 2 hours. Okay, this isn't to brag, this is to show you that if we can use this ideology and framework on a daily basis, these are the opportunities that if you lock in and take it seriously, that are going to be on the table for yourself. But before that, let's talk about all the tools and websites you're going to need to set this up for yourself and start as a beginner. Okay, so realistically, you're going to need 3 major things. First thing is going to be TradingView, which is where we're going to be doing all of our charting and analysis. That's going to be your home base. The second thing that you're going to need is some sort of way to actually place trades. Now, you're going to need some experience before actually doing this. Okay, but considering I trade cryptocurrency, I like to use Blowfin or Bybit. I'll show you how specifically to use those a little bit later into the video. Okay, and if you're looking to trade stocks, a lot of our traders are using TopStep.com. The third thing you're going to need is a trade journal, which I'm going to provide to you, but more on that later. And once you make your way into TradingView, you're going to have a screen that looks something like this. What you're going to want to do is click on products here and click on super chart. That's going to bring you to a plain chart like this. Now, when it comes to style and really setting this fully up, I have an amazing video you can go through that I'll bookmark at the end of this video, so you can watch that after and get fully set up. And what I like to do when I'm trading is take my TradingView, put it on one side of my screen, I'll take my trading platform where I can input my orders, and I'll put it on the other side. So now I want to share with you some fundamental trading information so you fully understand the approach you take with trading.
Mommy, it's freaking 7 minutes long.
What's called a pair. Now, a pair is going to be any sort of asset that you're either buying or
And
selling
Mommy,
against
it
the
is
value
27
of the US
minutes
dollar.
long.
Okay, so this is Solana versus the US dollar, which US dollar is going to maintain a pretty consistent value, and Solana will either go up or down against that value, which is going to create price movement. The way we manage our pairs is using something called
Mommy,
a watch list, which is
has
over
the
here on
VR been
Trading.
on
So,
the
for example, if
charger?
you're creating a new watch list, we can click this plus button here, and if we want to go to cryptocurrencies, we can click on Bitcoin, XRP, Sol. We can start selecting different cryptocurrency pairs to have in a list here, which will allow us to flip between and to have access to viewing how these individual charts are moving. So when I'm looking at a chart here, you'll see we started off with a line chart. So it's basically a line showing how the price is moving, and then I can switch between something called candles. So candles are a better way of getting information as a day trader. Okay, so the way candles work, okay, considering this is a green candle, that means that price started here, went as high as this point.
Daddy, you can go ahead and end the video. I'm gonna stop it.